is Chasey Poo, and today is the video that I'm making that is kind of like part 2 of Is Transsexualism a Medical Condition, where today I'm going to be talking to you about what is truscum. So if you've never heard this word, then you're probably not on Tumblr. This word is literally has exploded on Tumblr, so let's first of all just unpack this word and just understand where it comes from. So the word truscum is in reference now to individuals in the transgender community who identify themselves as transsexual and believe that you need to have first and secondary sex dysphoria in order to be trans and to transition. So these people are categorized as truscum. Now, where did this word truscum come from? Originally, it was actually a slur or derogatory towards these people, whereas true scum as in true transsexual to transition a specific way, and scum because you're scum because you think everybody needs to transition a certain way. After a while, these individuals actually reappropriated this word and named themselves truscum. So just to reiterate, these people believe that in order for you to be a true transsexual, you need to have sex dysphoria and want to transition and so on. So that's basically where it comes from. Now, I've been asked to make a video about this to unpack it and why there's so much trauma on Tumblr, so why not? So the really funny story is I have a very wide history with truscum. I made a video a while ago about not needing to have dysphoria to be trans. Now, I didn't mean no dysphoria, but in my video I obviously didn't really talk about that. I just talked about like, look, you don't need to have dysphoria to be trans, but I meant like all types of dysphoria. Obviously, you know, if you have social dysphoria, I'm not talking about this again, whatever. So what happened is I got targeted by these truscum individuals like crazy. They used to go on my blog, they used to write me messages, they used to write all these posts in the Chase Ross tag on Tumblr. It was actually ridiculous, and it actually affected me for a really long time, and my girlfriend forbid me to look at my tag for like 3 months. Fast forward, like a year and a half, 2 years after that, I'm actually really close friends with these individuals, which is so funny to me. I think in the beginning they were really, they used to harass people a lot for maybe, because I was, you know, I'm out there, people know who I am. I'm not the face of the community, but I have a lot of followers, and back then I had less than 1,000, but still, I guess people followed me and thought that I was great. And I think it really affected them to think that people would think that you don't need dysphoria to be trans. And so they started, you know, saying all these things about me and whatever, but now I understand where it comes from, because there's a lot of identities on Tumblr that are emerging that, I mean, I've never heard of before, which I'm sure they don't come from Tumblr, but for me, they've emerged from Tumblr because I've never heard of them before. So people like who are like demi-girls, demi-boys, and then a whole bunch of like gray, agender, I don't even, there's a lot of identities. I have no problem with anybody identifying as whatever, but I think that the issue here is that when individuals who identify themselves as transgender also identify themselves as non-binary. Now, a lot of people who are truscum have a problem with this. And actually, there are some truscum individuals who are non-binary and stuff like that. But that's for another video. The point of this video is really to say that there's a lot of hate on Tumblr now for truscum individuals because they think that if you're a feminine trans guy, then they hate you, or you're not trans. Or if you are transitioning but you're not having top surgery, you're not trans. They have never said this. Never. You can be gay, you can be feminine, you can wear dresses and wear makeup, do whatever you want. That's it. They don't give a shit that you're trans, it's you, they don't care. I think the real big issue is that when somebody says that they're trans but then they contradict themselves and say things that doesn't really make sense to being trans, and they just have issues with this. I mean, whatever, like, who gives a shit if you're gay? Like, do you know how many truscum people who are gay? Like, I know a lot. Also, I hate that word truscum. Like, they're not, like, there's no such, look, there's no such thing as a true transsexual. Like, if you have gender dysphoria, and you have secondary and first characteristic, whatever, dysphoria, and you want to transition, and you're trans, whatever. If you say that you have absolutely no dysphoria at all, you are fine with your birth name, with how people see you in society, with how you are inside, but then you say that you're trans, I think this is where the issue comes in, because it just doesn't make sense. How can you want to transition and you know you are male if you're fine with everything? If you know you are male but you're female, how is that not dysphoria? I think that's the issue that they have here. I really hope that I explained that in a decent way, at least. Maybe. I probably didn't. If you need me to make like a part 2 about like what is truscum, I definitely will. It's a bit confusing for some people who don't understand it, but I don't like that word truscum, seriously. I think that it should just be, you know, people who believe that they have a medical condition and just talk about things. Although there are some that are assholes that like really push forward a lot. Some of them are actually really great guys. You have to remember that sometimes the internet is just the internet and people like to stir some shit. But when you get to know the people who are actually behind that, they're actually some really great people. So I have some really great friends. So that's it. That's all I have to say. And if you have anything, please just ask. This video was so bad. I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. Have a great week.